Yakuza Like a Dragon is the 7th main entry in the franchise. It's also a reboot of sorts, which might be part of the reason why Sega took out the number. There's a new star, Ichiban Kasuga, English voice acting for the first time since the PS2 original, and it is now a turn-based RPG. This was all seemingly done to draw new players in, and while it may alienate some longtime fans and doesn't do much to the formula to really change things up, I think the Yakuza team at Sega did a tremendous job. The game begins with Ichiban in his early years in the Yakuza. Eventually, he's asked to take the fall for a comrade, serving out his sentence for almost 2 decades before he is released. Hoping to rejoin his brotherhood, he's welcomed by no one and is now alienated by his patriarch. Why this happened is the main story, but there are little vignettes along the way as Ichiban is joined by fellow tragic heroes, all trying to make their way through life. Thanks to the strong voice acting, it's hard to put down, making it one of the best stories in some years for the franchise. Also, some may miss Kazama, but I strongly embraced Ichiban thanks to his charismatic attitude. As great as the story is, it slows down a lot of what this game is trying to offer in terms of gameplay, which is to say the pacing is all over the place. Ichiban isn't aided by a party until about 5 hours in. 5 more after that, the party gets full with 4 members. The max at one time, that is, and then a couple more hours after that, jobs are introduced. It may take a while to get the ball rolling, but once one does, man, does it feel good. I thought of it like Persona 5 meets Earthbound. Persona influences come into factor with a small Japanese setting, along with the social bonds you can make with comrades. Earthbound's influence comes into factor with the mundanity of everyday life formed into an RPG, from using champagne bottles as makeshift cannons to napping in order to recover HP in the middle of a battle. It's established early on that this turn-based system and over-the-top actions and costumes are all in Ichiban's head. He's imagining himself as the hero of Dragon Quest. Yakuza Like a Dragon wears its influences on its sleeve proudly, which is charming in its own way. Speaking of charming, as one would hope, the minigames and side quests are just as weird as ever, from chasing away nightmare sheep to fighting off a band of Yakuza dressed like babies. There's a lot to love, and I honestly think this is the best time to jump into the franchise. That said, it's not all awesome. Load times are fairly quick, ranging from 5 to 30 seconds at max, but their frequency is the problem. You can go from a cutscene to a load, and then to another cutscene, and then to a load in that same area. There's also a lot of backtracking, adding into the load frequency due to fast travel, and as I said earlier, it takes about 12 hours before the game starts going. I should also mention that camera angles in battle can get wonky. There are definitely some features that set it back, but presumably the next-gen versions may iron out some of these issues like load times. So, even the worst problems don't subtract from the experience that much. For me at least. If you like any of the games I already mentioned, or maybe even something as bizarre as Deadly Premonition, please check out Yakuza Like a Dragon. It's a great step forward for the series, and I think it's one of the best RPGs of the year, and one of the most unique RPGs of all time. Did you like that video? If you did, please like, subscribe, and spread the good word of ReActionExaminer. If you want to read more of my stuff, you can find a plethora of my articles over at TheGamer and Game Rant. All of those links and more are in the show notes below. Thanks for watching!